probably should check to see if I'm live. Alright. So, you want to hear something funny, Jordan? When I started this experiment, this is going to sound funny, but because of the Great Flash, when we initially, the AI immediately wanted you to disappear. I'm like, are you serious right now? So check this out. You and Jordan arrive in an alternate universe where a midnight flash caused all human males to disappear. Because Jordan is male, he vanished the moment you crossed through the portal at 2 o'clock p.m., leaving you alone in your unarmored state and your gear stored in your RV and vault. Honestly, that was so stupid. Okay. And you know what I said? No, Jordan is staying right here with me. I'm a guy too. LOL. And you know what the AI said? Haha, my bad. You both made it completely unscathed. Since you arrived at 2 o'clock p.m., long after the midnight flash occurred, the temporal rift shielded. No, technically our atomic signature did not register with that universe's. Actually, I can't even tell if I'm live streaming. I'm gonna check something real quick. I am. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Alright, guys. Let us begin. This is a world-building experiment where Jordan and I are to survive modern-day Japan. Jordan picked Japan, and we're going to be in here for a week. Ugh. There is an event, a supernatural phenomenon called, what I call is the Great Flash, where in a universe, it causes all human males to disappear. And I realized that my camera is still a little too high, guys. There's just no winning with that sometimes. Is there? Alright. Alright. Let's keep this scenario as realistic and grounded as possible. The RV is at a rest stop in the countryside in Japan. This universe has the same exact tech level as our own. I said to Jordan, alright. Okay, so we made it. Hopefully, I can get a good deal on getting more materials for the RV's wheels. Jordan said, you think we can just find a place? You could just find a place where you can make space-age tires for your RV? Really? I said, yes. This universe has a place where they sell the materials. I just want enough to build a spare tire, just in case. Jordan says, the wheels are already nearly indestructible. I said, right, nearly. I want a backup wheel. Let's go. You got the translation app ready? Jordan said, yeah, but you know a lot of people here can speak English, right? I said, nah. It's better to have it than not need it than to need it not have it. Wait. Something feels wrong here. Look. So guys, oh my god, my head is still cut off from the thing. What the hell? It's annoying. Oh, you know what I was doing? I was lowering the camera, not raising it. That's better. So I have to read the search, the prompt, guys, because I do create Jordan and I's custom dialogue. So don't be surprised if that actually happens. Alright. You look past the reflective one-way film of your laminated borosilicate windows and out in the quiet Japanese countryside rest stop. The silence of the afternoon is heavy, and the immediate signs of the Great Flash are starkly visible all around you. A delivery truck has veered off into the flower bed, its driver's side door flung wide open into the empty air. Business suits, empty shoes, and watches sit perfectly intact on the asphalt next to the parked sedans. exactly where their owners dissolved into light at midnight. No engine sounds, no shouting, and no highway traffic. Only the humming of your RV. Well, technically the RV is fully electric, so it ain't going to be making a lot of noise. Ah. Alright. Let's see. Only the... Okay, I already read that part. As Jordan and I are looking out the window, we saw several cars idle and empty. One crashed into a ditch. I said, according to the status of this universe, of course, the fucking Great Flash. I really, really don't want to deal with this right now. Jordan said, the Great Flash? What is that? I said, it's a supernatural phenomenon that systematically accelerates the decay of human civilization by erasing all human males, even babies in the womb, in a bright flash of light, and it always takes place at precisely midnight. I have been to several universes where this happened. It's tragic, depressing, and most of all, unnecessarily more annoying for us to deal with. Because we're the only two men on Earth. I go to the cabin and said, Jordan, only a smooth-brained idiot will think this is a man's fantasy, but it's certainly not. You know more about Japan than I. I will leave you with the logistics. Jordan nods slowly, his face turning dead serious as the weight of your words sinks in. He looks back out the window at the empty suits of clothes lying on the asphalt. You're right, Jordan says, his deep voice quiet. A world where half the population, including the doctors, engineers, grid operators, and logistics workers who happen to be male, vanishes overnight? This isn't a fantasy. This is an immediate infrastructure collapse. Nuclear plants, power grids, water treatment, everything's on a countdown timer right now. He rubs the back of his neck, scanning the Japanese roadside layout and tapping into his knowledge of the country. Jordan's logistics assessment. The immediate grid. The lights at the rest stop are still on, meaning the Japanese power grid is currently holding up on automated systems, but it won't last without maintenance. The location. You are at a rural Michi-no-Iki roadside rest area. These spots usually have a small market with a local produce, a convenience store, vending machines, and clean restrooms. Japan's emergency broadcast system, J-Alert, will be blasting alerts on... Oh my god, go away, Ron. On their phone... Okay. Will be blasting alerts on TVs and phones. The survivors, entirely women, children, and newborn girls, will be rallying around local town halls and evacuation centers. My phone is just blowing up right now. The AI literally wants us to armor up immediately. Like, I'm smarter than that. We don't need our armor. Alright. Armed, armored, and... Okay. I said, we're not getting our armor and weapons, Jordan. You said there in the old... you said there's an old village nearby. We can sneak in, steal some kimonos, and you can cut some horsehair tails so we can make wigs. I really don't want to go Rambo yet. We start small, and it sucks. I'm not going to get a spare wheel anytime soon. Jordan said, you'll get over it. We'll have to wait till nighttime to go to that village. You know that, right? I said, ugh. I'm already hating this. But yeah, we wait. You and Jordan step away from the vault, leaving the heavy map gray plate armor and black and red samurai gear locked safely inside. You stay in your comfortable gray light jacket, track pants, and steel-toed shoes, while Jordan remains in his simple shorts and sandals, even though that he's not wearing any of those right now. To pass the time safely, you activate the RV's built-in air conditioning to keep the cabin cool and turn on the Bluetooth boombox to a low volume, scanning the local Japanese AM/FM radio bands. The broadcasts are chaotic. Panic-stricken female anchors and government officials are broadcasting emergency instructions confirming that the phenomenon is nationwide and that utility grids are being monitored by skeleton crews. The waiting game, 2:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Energy management. You step onto the floor macroplates for a few minutes, generating a bit of kinetic electricity to ensure the internal backup cells remain 100%. Okay, I need to lower my chair because my... Alright. Oh. Damn it. Ugh. My chair is so old, guys. Ugh. Resource check. You open your food cooler to grab a quick snack, keeping track of your... Well, technically, I would be eating my snack around 11:30. It's kind of hard to keep a schedule when you're in the apocalypse, am I right? You open your food cooler to keep a quick snack, keeping track of your rations since standard supply chains are officially broken. Through the one-way film of your laminated borosilicate windows, you watch the sun slowly dip below the horizon of the quiet countryside. No one has entered the rest stop. Nightfall at 8 p.m. The sun has officially set over the rural landscape. The rural Michi no Iki is Michi no Iki is pitch black, save for a few automated solar-powered parking lights. The nearby old village is shrouded in darkness, making it the perfect time to move. Jordan looks at you, his deep voice dropping to a whisper. Hurry, it's dark enough. The village is about a 20-minute walk through the tree line just off the main road. If we're stealing Komodos and looking for horsehair to craft makeshift wigs, we need to be dead silent. No flashlights unless absolutely necessary. Before you step out the door, you glance out the dashboard controls. The deployable phalanx turret is armed on stand. No, it's not even out. And the 4 Limbo Slayer drones are primed. Okay, we can worry about those Limbo Slayer drones in a bit, guys. You crack the RV door open. The night air is cool and completely still. How do you and Jordan want to approach the edge of the village? Do you stick your shadows? Okay. I said we are going to be stuck in this universe for a week, and you know we have night vision goggles in a storage room. Let's go. You head to the storage room and grab the night vision goggles, slipping them on along with your black and gray gloves. Jordan fits his pair over his eyes, and the pitch black Japanese countryside instantly lights up in sharp, bright green hues. Jordan takes the lead, using his knowledge of the terrain to guide you through the thick brush running parallel to the main road. Your gray steel-toed shoes crunch softly on the dirt, but the heavy silence of the post-flash world means you both have to move with absolute caution. Behind you, the armored RV sits silent and dark under its heavy-duty solar panels, its autonomous microcapsule skin blending perfectly into the shadows with the phalanx turret. The phalanx turret is not deployed, guys. Don't listen to what the AI is saying. Reaching the village at 8:25 p.m. After a quiet 20-minute trek, the tree line opens up a traditional Japanese village. Through the green glow of your night vision goggles, you can see historic wooden homes, narrow streets, and small family plots. There are no streetlights here, and every single house is completely dark. Jordan crouches behind a low stone wall at the edge of the village and points toward a small barn structure on the left, then toward a traditional-style house with clotheslines in the back. The barn over there is our best bet for finding horsehair for livestock supplies. Jordan whispered, his deep voice barely audible. The house next to it has fabrics hanging out back. We can look for kimonos or traditional garments inside that were on the line. Let's see. It's 8:27 p.m. on day one. I said, if we're fast enough, we can make it back by bedtime. Your bedtime. Jordan said, your bedtime. If we are going to live in the world without other men, we will have to disguise ourselves, I said. Wait. Jordan says, your bedtime. If we are going to be living in a world without other men, we will have to disguise ourselves. I said, I still remember that tomboy disguise I had in the last universe. Ugh, that Metallica shirt was so ugly. So ugly. Jordan lets out a quiet, deep chuckle through the night vision goggles, keeping his eyes locked on the dark village ahead. Hey, that Metallica shirt worked, Jordan whispers back, adjusting his stance behind the stone wall. A heavy graphic tee hides a lot of the structural lines, but out here in rural Japan, a traditional yakata or casual kimono will actually blend in much better. Plus, the loose fabric will completely hide our builds. The plan, 8:28 p.m. You have roughly an hour and a half if you want to get back to your RV, finish the wigs. The AI literally thinks we're going to be working on the wigs once we get back. And the village remains dead silent. Oh, I got... lack of ambient light means your green-tinted night vision is giving you a massive tactical advantage. Through your goggles, you can see several long pieces of fabric in traditional garments hanging on the lines behind the nearest house. They look like everyday yakata, lightweight cotton kimonos often worn in the summer. The small barn structure is just 15 feet to the right of the clothesline. You can hear the faint, restless shifting of a horse inside, unaffected by the flash since the phenomenon has only targeted human males. Jordan looks at you, his black gloved hand resting on the stone wall. Let's grab the clothes off the line first. It's low risk and outside. Once we have the fabric, we slip into the barn, grab the horse out, and get the hell out of here. It's 8:31 p.m. Jordan and I have collected our items, and I said, those horses didn't seem as stressed as I thought. Yeah, Jordan said, yeah, good thing too. They would have made a lot of noise if we spooked them. I said, we kinda did, but thankfully they weren't loud. Jordan and I have returned to the RV. You both step back inside the RV at 8:51 p.m., looking at the heavy laminated borosilicate door behind you. The cool air-conditioned air of the soft cream interior feels like an immediate relief after the humid night air. Your autonomous microcapsule skin hums. Okay, it does not hum. Fully secure while the roof finally... Oh. Don't worry about that, guys. You dump the stolen yakata onto the polished wood trim table, and Jordan carefully sets the drawn of bundle of coarse, dark horsehair tail clippings. We are not actually doing the fabric. You look over at the... Okay. Prepping the disguises at 8:55 p.m. Oh, the sunset. Oh, look at that sunset, guys. You look over at the gathered kimonos. They are loose, traditional cotton garments that are completely draped over your 250-pound frame and will hide any masculine structural lines. The horsehair is stiff and dark. It will take some careful work with a needle, thread, and adhesive from your storage room to craft into believable traditional hair pieces or extensions to pair with your permanent headband. I don't think I'm going to be wearing my headband if I'm wearing a wig, guys. Okay. Jordan pulls off his night vision goggles and rubs his eyes, his deep voice carrying a tired but relieved tone. We got lucky with those horses. If they had kicked up a real fuss, the whole village would have been at the windows. Now we actually have a fighting chance at the baseline disguise. He looks over at the cooler and grab a drink, and then glances back at you. We should probably wash this horsehair first before we turn it into wigs. Unless you want to call it a night and deal with the crafting tomorrow morning. I said, Jordan, my gummy is fully kicked in. I'm going to bed. Night. Jordan realized that we don't need to prep the disguises tonight. He said, night. After I went to sleep, Jordan went to watch YouTube and immediately noticed I was right about the Great Flash. The THC gummy wraps you in a heavy, relaxing haze as you climb into your bunk. Well, technically, we don't actually use a bunk bed. We actually have two separate beds. The RV actually has two beds, and the table can fold into a bed. The floor can be a bed. The whole... I digress, guys. Where was I? Cream-colored interior. Jordan shuts off the main lights, leaving only the soft glow of the RV's dashboard consoles humming in the dark. Jordan's night watch. While you sleep soundly, Jordan boots up his phone to browse YouTube, expecting a mix of normal algorithmic content. Instead, the reality of the Great Flash hits him with full force. The homepage is a chaotic wall of breaking news, live streams, desperate vlogs from female creators, and automated security camera footage capturing the exact moment of the flash. The global reality. Videos from the United States, Europe, and local Japanese channels all show the same terrifying footage. Billions of men vanishing into instant, brilliant white light at precisely midnight. Jordan sits back in his chair, staring at the screen in absolute shock. He realizes your warnings were 100% accurate. You two are officially the last two men alive on this planet and on this universe. Morning! Day 2. You wake up feeling completely refreshed, the effects of the gummy gone, leaving you with a clear head. The morning sun beams down onto the RV's heavy-duty solar panels, completely replenishing any power used by last night's air conditioning overnight. Jordan is sitting at the polished wood table, looking tired but alert. The stolen yakata and the bundle of horsehair are sitting exactly where you left them. He looks at you as you step out of the bed. Man, you aren't exaggerating at all, Jordan says, his deep voice heavy. I spent hours watching the footage on YouTube. It is a total ghost town out there for guys. Every single live stream is just panic and confusion. He taps the pile of clothes on the table. We definitely need these disguises. We're going to need to build these disguises today before we go try going anywhere near town. Alright, let's see. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to have to read the prompt on this one, guys. It's 5:25 a.m. on day 2. I'm immediately making breakfast. Duck eggs, power greens, cooking in coconut oil and mushrooms sauteed in butter and walnut oil in a bowl of oatmeal fortified with chocolate casein, protein powder, and creatine powder along with pineapple chunks and blueberries, milk and tea. Jordan wakes up with the aroma of sauteed mushrooms and he says, you trying to make me puke? Jordan wraps his blanket over his face to block the smell. I said, we need to fuel our gross bodies with nutritional supremacy. Jordan said under his covers, fuck off, before letting out a grunted giggle. I'm sorry, guys. That's actually something Jordan probably would say. Fuck off. The rich scent of earthly mushrooms, buttery walnut oil, and brewing tea quickly fills the RV's soft cream interior, completely waking Jordan up, despite his groggy complaints. Your high-density breakfast provides exactly the macronutrients and physical fuel needed to tackle a long day of crafting and survival planning. Gracie! There you are, my baby. And you got on right there. Yeah. Yes, baby. Alright, day 2, 5:45 a.m. You finish your alright, nutritional fuel. You finish your oatmeal bowl with the chocolate protein, creatine, and fresh fruit while sipping your technically speaking, the way I make the you know what, never mind. Air circulation, you tap the RV's climate control system to clear out any heavy cooking smells so Jordan can finally emerge from his blanket. Oh, the Japanese countryside outside your laminated porcelain windows are still bathed in early morning twilight, completely silent and undisturbed. Jordan finally pulls. Alright, the next move. Jordan finally pulls the blanket off his face, blinking against the dim cabin lights and stretching his 6-foot frame. He looks at the pile of stolen yukata and horsehair sitting on the wood trimmed table, then back at you. Alright, nutritional supremacy it is, Jordan grumbles, his deep voice still thick with sleep as he reaches for a glass of milk. Since you're already up and bouncing, we have a few hours before the sun is fully up. We should get to work on these hair pieces while the rest stop is completely dead. It's 5:57 a.m. I said, is anything good? Wait, saw anything good on YouTube last night? Jordan looks at you, his face getting serious as the timeline clicks in the face. A few days ago, the water. Oh wait, no, just a lot of women crying. Not surprised. I said, any idea when the Great Flash happened? Jordan said, a few days ago. I said, that explains the temperament on those horses. But a few days ago, that would mean we were on borrowed time with the infrastructure here. It's going to get worse. I'm already over not getting a spare wheel for the RV right now. We focus on our survival here. It's day 2. Let's hope we don't have to talk to anyone. Jordan looks at you, his face getting serious as the timeline clicks into place. A few days ago mean the water pressure here might drop soon if the automated pumps fail, he says, taking a sip of his milk. And the grid is running on pure automated luck. You're completely right. Forget the spare wheel. We need a hard lockdown strategy. The lights at the rest stop are alright. Infrastructure countdown, day 2, 6 o'clock a.m. Power grid. The lights of the rest stop are still on, but without human intervention, substations will begin to trip within 48 to 72 hours. Technically speaking, they would have already done that by now. It's been 3 days before when the flash happened, and then when Jordan and I emerged on this universe, we emerged on like 2 o'clock p.m. Alright. Water pressure in rural areas usually drops first once municipal storage tanks empty out without automated refills. Thankfully, my RV is entirely self-sufficient. The heavy-duty solar panels are already drinking up the early morning light, and the macro floor plates can generate kinetic juice whenever you walk around. I absolutely love this RV, guys. I wish it existed for real. Only, like, can you imagine, like, a really rich person coming up with the idea for a vehicle like this? Disguise and lockdown prep. Since you want to avoid all human contact and focus purely on survival, your priority shifts to securing the immediate perimeter and prepping your camouflage just in case someone wanders into the rest stop. Jordan sets his glass down and pulls the bundle of coarse horsehair toward him. If we don't want to talk to anyone, these disguises are strictly for emergency evasion. If anyone drives to this rest stop, we put the hair on, throw in the yukata over our clothes, and look like 2 women keeping to themselves. You grab a needle, heavy-duty thread, and a fast-acting adhesive from the storage room. You begin attaching the stiff horsehair to your permanent... No, I am not stitching... The hell? Guys, You begin attaching the stiff horsehair to your permanent headband. Hell no, I am not stitching horsehair on my headband. What the hell? That is just dumb. Securing the perimeter. While you craft, you check the RV security feed on the phone. The autonomous microcapital skin is perfectly intact, blending into the morning fog of the Japanese countryside. The phalanx turret is not deployed, guys. Greasy, 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 greasy. By 6:45 a.m., the morning sun is officially up, casting long shadows across the empty cars sitting out in the rest stop lot. It's 7:12 a.m. Jordan is crafting his wig first. I said, hey, now that I think about it, disguises, do you think they'll work? I'm not saying they're useless, but looking at the reality of it, and let's hope that the horsehair isn't going to make our heads itch like a muh before letting out a soft giggle. Jordan stops stitching for a second. He looks up from his matte black and gray samurai armor storage bin where he's working on his hairpiece, a tired smirk breaking across his face. Oh, you know they're going to itch like a muh, Jordan says, his deep voice carrying a dry laugh. We didn't exactly have time to run it through the salon treatment. It's stiff, it's coarse, and it smells faintly of a stable, but hey, beauty is pain, right? The reality of the disguises at 7:15 a.m. Since you have a soft face and voice, your physical features actually work in your favor for an emergency pass. The loose cotton fabric of the stolen yukata will drape over your 215 5'8" build to hide any obvious masculine shoulder or chest definition. Jordan's challenge. At 6 feet tall with a mature face and a naturally deep voice, Jordan has a much harder time blending in. His wig needs to be completely flawless, and he will have to remain completely silent if any survivors approach. The goal. If these aren't meant for close-up conversations, they are purely visual camouflage to prevent someone from looking through your one-way. Okay, that's not how it works, but Jordan finishes securing a thick knot of horsehair to his base material and holds it up to his head. Looking at the RV's mirror, he winces slightly at the horsehair, pokes his forehead. See? Perfect. He grunts, letting out a chuckle. I look like a modern samurai who went through a hedge backward. Your turn. First, pass me that fast-acting adhesive from the storage room so we can finish prepping our permanent No, not the permanent headband. Do not touch the headband. It's 7:16 a.m. I said, oh, look at us. Look at us. I already have a soft voice, but I can put out that breathy, sexy voice. But you actually have to try to gain it. You would have to try to gain an octave or two, or squeak before letting out multiple giggles. Jordan looks at you in the mirror, blinking slowly as you let out a flurry of giggles. He looks down at his broad shoulders and looks back at his own reflection at the pure comedic defeat on his mature face. A squeak, Jordan repeats, his naturally deep voice dropping even lower just to emphasize how impossible it is. You want a 6-foot-tall dude in a stolen village, Yakuta, to just walk around squeaking like a stepped-on dog toy? Yes. He lets out a massive rumbling laugh that fills the cream-colored cabin. Man, if I'm going to gain an octave, I'm going to sound like a broken lawnmower. If anyone comes near us, my official strategy is silent and brooding. You do all the breathy talking. I'll just nod like a very tall, very angry companion. The disguise workstation at 7:20 a.m. You apply a thin layer. No, not touching the headband. The AI literally thinks I'm actually going to use my headband to stitch the hair on. That's so dumb. You test your breathy vocal range, and it easily syncs with the disguise. The loose cotton fabric of the gray yukata completely hides your build. Jordan wraps his hairpiece around his head, combined with his matte black and red composite armor bends tucked away. The visual and absurd, but effective enough for a distant glance from a tree line. The RV's built-in air conditioning hums quietly, keeping the indoor air perfectly cool while the outside temperature starts to climb. Through the one-way film of the laminated borosilicate glass, the quiet countryside rest stop remains totally abandoned. Awesome. It's 7:21 a.m. I said, neither of us speak Japanese, so I'm going to go with the notion that you mentioned yesterday. We will be seen as distant background people, keeping to ourselves. Jordan said, yeah, and let's hope their government doesn't go around looking for people to help. I said, you just gave me a reason to be worried now. Thanks. Jordan throws his hands up in mock defense and a wide grin on his mature face. Hey, I'm just looking at the logistics. A crisis like this usually means a martial law lockdown or mandatory evacuations to a controlled grid zone. Alright, background camouflage at 7:25 a.m. The visual trick. Since neither of you speak Japanese, your plan relies entirely on distance. To anyone looking from the main road or tree line, you are simply two figures in traditional yukata tending to your own vehicle. Alright. The RV shift. To minimize the risk of government or military scouting parties noticing a high-tech armored vehicle, you use the RV's console to lower the deployable phalanx turret slightly. How about this? We just put it away. Just put the phalanx turret away. You don't need it out. The RV in this stock variant has a built-in deployable phalanx turret made of ultra-lightweight materials. Look it up. It's true. Supposedly, it's a phalanx turret that weighs like maybe 2,500 pounds, given the fact that it's carrying 12,000 tungsten alloy rounds, so that's pretty heavy as it is. To minimize the risk of government or military scatter parties noticing a high-tech armored vehicle, you use the RV's console to... Okay, I already read that. It remains fully armed and automated, but it now sits... Okay, how about this? It's dormant. Dormant. The phalanx turret is dormant. Day 2 reality check. The silence outside your laminated borosilicate windows takes a slightly heavier weight. Jordan's point is valid. If a regional rescue chopper or local civil defense convoy rolls down the highway checking for survivors, a pristine matte gray armored RV standing in an empty rest stop will stick out like a sore thumb. Jordan sits back down on the polished wood trim bench, checking his phone's remaining network bars. If the authorities do a sweep, they'll want to gather everyone in the shelters. We just need to make sure this RV looks abandoned or completely closed up from the outside. If we hear heavy engines approaching... It's 7:26 a.m. I said, Jordan, you know their government is going to want to get their hands on my RV. And next time, let's keep the phalanx dormant. The thing may be lightweight, but it still sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm bored. I'm going to go play with the scout drone now. I get the small scout drone ready and said, I used the hell out of this in the last universe I was at. I was like, how can I use the speaker, but I won't use it much here, though. Alright. Gotta move my character. Holy fog. Oh, it's raining out. I'm going to go in. Oh, give me a sec, guys. Yeah, I don't want to be outside in the rain. Ah, there we go. Ah, yes. Where was I? Okay. You grab the compact drone scout from the storage compartment. It's matte gray finish, matching your overall gear aesthetic. Since you are staying locked inside the soft cream interior of the RV, you crack the borosilicate window just enough to slide the scout drone out before sealing it tight again. Drone reconnaissance. Day 2, 7:30 a.m. Perimeter launch. The scout drone hums quietly into the crisp morning air. Its high-definition optical camera instantly streaming a live feed directly on your phone screen. You double-check your dashboard console and set the deployable roof phalanx turret to dormant mode. It powers down and retracts into a low-profile housing, completely blending in to look like a standard cargo box. Holy shit, dude, that sounds awesome. Imagine the RV with those cargo boxes on the roof, and it just turns out to be a phalanx turret. That'd be cool. You pilot the drone upward, mapping the empty rural highways stretching into the Japanese countryside. The surrounding green hills and rice paddies are beautiful but eerie in their total stillness. The drone feed. Through the phone screen, you scan the nearby village you sneaked into last night. A few plumes of smoke rise from traditional chimneys, likely wood-burning stoves, or automated generators, confirming that the remaining female population is awake and hunkering down inside. Jordan leans over your shoulder to watch the video feed, his deep voice quiet. Good call on parking the phalanx. If a government patrol or civil defense vehicle rolls up on that highway, they would spot that military-grade tech instantly. This drone gives us a massive head start if anyone starts moving to test the rat stop. You hover the drone about 100 feet in the air, maintaining a perfect bird's-eye view of your immediate surroundings, while keeping the built-in speaker completely silent to avoid drawing any unwanted attention. Is it still raining out? Yes. Aww. It's 7:35 a.m. Jordan said, "So, when did you build the RV?" I said, "Last week." It was an absolute logistical nightmare, though. I was crying inside because of how annoying it is to get the materials and components for it. I explained to Jordan the science behind my RV and its weapon system, as well as the painstaking process of getting the materials and components in scientific detail. Alright. Jordan listens intently, propping his elbows. You know what? I don't care about the rain right now. I actually just realized I could just use this. But I won't be able to wear my hat. So I'm going to head back to where Jordan is, guys. Jordan listens intently, propping his elbows on the polished wood turntable. I almost fell in the water. I'm being a dum-dum right now. Hi. You lay out the exact logistics and material science that brought you your matte gray mobile fortress together just 1 week ago. The scientific engineering of the RV, structural frame and self-healing shielding, autonomous microcapsules. The exterior skin integrates an advanced polymer composite matrix embedded with micro-encapsulated healing agents. When a kinetic impact or projectile creates a microcrack, the rupture mechanically breaks open the the embedded capsules. The released liquid monomer flows into the fracture via capillary action, making contact with embedded chemical catalysts to initiate a room temperature polymerization process that effectively seals the structural damage autonomously. Window composites. The transparent armor consists of altering layers of high durability laminated borosilicate glass and polycarbonate thermoplastic polymers. The borosilicate layers offer an extremely hard front surface to shatter incoming ballistic threats and dissipate kinetic energy, while the ductile polycarbonate backing acts as a spall shield to deform plastically without cracking, absorbing the remaining shockwave. High performance smart wheels. Oh, time to turn my chair on. Alright. Nitinol shaped memory alloys. The core matrix of the airless tires uses a nickel titanium superplastic crystalline structure under high deformation or stress. The alloy undergoes a reversible martensitic to ontisnicate. I don't know. I've never seen that word before. Phase through transformation, allowing it to withstand extreme strain, up to 10% elastic deformation, and bounce back instantly without any permanent structural fatigue. Polyurethane elastomers and carbon fiber. This nitinol core is cross-linked with high-tensile carbon fiber composite ribbing to provide shear strength, all encapsulated within a rugged polyurethane elastomer tread that dampens vibration and matches the traction performance of a standard pneumatic tires. Energy generation and armaments. Piezoelectric floor macro plates. The floor interior features transducer plates that exploit the direct piezoelectric effect. Mechanical stress from walking converts kinetic energy directly into high voltage, low current electrical potential, which passes through a bridge rectifier circuit to top off your auxiliary lithium iron phosphate battery banks. Tungsten alloy stable rounds. The deployable phalanx turret relies on kinetic energy penetrators. Because tungsten has an extremely high density, 19.25 text G-CM up arrow 3 and melting point, the armor-piercing discarding sabot rounds retain maximum velocity and stability through atmosphere, delivering devastating force without explosive payloads. The Limbo Slayer drones and fuel air bombs. The 4 drones utilize aerosolized thermobaric munitions. Upon deployment over a target area, upon deployment over a target area, a primary charge disperses a fine cloud of hydrocarbon fuel into the surrounding air, mixing rapidly with the atmospheric oxygen. A secondary detonator ignites the cloud, creating a sustained high-temperature shockwave with an immense vacuum effect. Jordan's reaction. Jordan stares at you as you finish the exhaustive technical breakdown, his mouth slightly open before he shakes his head with a deep grin. Man, Jordan says, leaning back, no wonder you were crying inside to source all that. Finding suppliers for aerospace-grade nitinol wire, military spec borosilicate glass, and microcapsule polymers within a single week is literally a logistical miracle. I'm surprised the global supply chains didn't flag your bank accounts immediately. He looks down at his own phone screen, which is still streaming the quiet aerial feed from your scout drone hovering above the landscape. Well, the good news is... Well, the good news is all that stress paid off. We are sitting inside the single safest piece of tech on this version of Earth right now. It's 7:37 a.m. That's why I went to this universe. You see, in this universe, Japan has a monopoly on nitinol-shaped memory alloys. Of course, the stupid Great Flash ruined my chances. But I could just take them by force on day 7. You know what? Yeah. You wanted to go to Japan again. We're here. I'm getting something out of this. This universe will die a slow aging death anyways, and you know the RV has enough food. Although we do have to hook up a water line. I don't see a body of water nearby while playing with the scout drone. Jordan nods slowly, his eyes shifting from the phone screen to look out the window, the one-way film of the window, taking the materials by force on day 7. Honestly, if the world was on a countdown timer anyway and the manufacturing plants are abandoned, it's not even stealing at that point, it's scavenging for survival. Jordan, he taps his knuckles against the wood trim table, turning his attention to the immediate infrastructure issue you brought up. Well, you're right about the water, though. The food cooler is packed, but our internal water storage isn't infinite. If the drone camera isn't seeing a river or lake nearby, we have a logistics bottleneck. Water supply diagnoses. Day 2 at 7:40 a.m. The Michio-Nikki bathrooms and outdoor cleaning stations still have pressurized running water right now because the local automated utility pumps haven't failed yet. The risk. Once the regional electrical substations trip from a lack of human maintenance, those pumps will die instantly. The water pressure will drop to 0. Your solution. You have a heavy-duty reinforced water hookup hose in the RV storage room. You can connect directly to the rest stop's external utility lines. To completely top off the RV's internal freshwater reservoir tanks before the pressure cuts out. Scouting the perimeter. You tilt the camera of the scout drone downward to look at the rest stop layout. The utility hookups and maintenance spigots are clearly visible on the side of the main building. Completely clear of the crashed delivery truck and empty vehicles. The area is still totally deserted. Jordan grabs his pair of black and gray gloves from the counter. If we're going to hook up the water line, we should do it right now before the morning fog is still giving us decent visual cover. We don't even need the wigs just to jump out. Screw the hose into the spigot and then slide it back in. It's 7:41. I said, hey, when I built the RV, I already thought of that issue. The RV's water system has its own water pump. All we have to do is stick the water line in any bottle of water, unless it's poo water and it's high-tech filtration will do the rest. Jordan breaks into a broad grin, clearly relieved that as he lets out a deep chuckle. Man, you really did think of everything when you designed this beast. So we don't need a pressurized grid utility, just a clean, natural source of water, and when we need a refill. All right, water supply strategy. Day 2, 7:45 a.m. The RV's integrated high-pressure suction pump can draw water from non-pressurized sources. The filtration efficiency. The multi-stage chemical and physical filtration systems will easily purify fresh stream, river, or the rainwater into completely drinkable drinking water. Since the rest stop area doesn't have an immediate natural body of water in sight, I needed to move my leg. Since the rest stop, you can hold off on hunting for a stream until your natural waters actually run low later in the week. Technically speaking, I would actually, because I drink a lot of water, and Jordan does too. Current drone status. Through your phone screen, the scout drone continues to hover slightly at 100 feet, casting a wide digital eye over the rural highway and the edge of the traditional village. The morning fog is beginning to burn off under the rising sun, revealing crisp, clear visibility across the valleys. No emergency vehicles, survivors, or government patrols are visible on the roads yet. The entire sector remains completely frozen in time. Jordan checks his phone, looking over at you as you comfortably relax in your gray light jacket and track pants. Alright, so our water is a non-issue for now. The defenses are dormant but ready. And we've got a week to kill before we raid the Nitronol manufacturing hub on day 7. What's the play for the rest of the morning? It's 7:47. I said, unless government personnel are nearby, we bide our time and chill. There's nothing we can do without drawing attention. I'm going to set the drone to recall and watch YouTube. You press the button on your phone to trigger the automated return to home sequence for the scout drone. Outside the compact... Oh, I got one more character. I thought I saw a message, but whatever. Outside, the compact matte gray drone drops altitude, flies a precise trajectory back to the RV, and slides smoothly through the cracked laminated borosilicate window before you seal it tight again. You lock it back into its charging bay in the storage room. Man, I really do like this RV, guys. It's like a man's dream. It's a fortress on wheels. Settling in, day 2, 7:55 a.m. Entertainment setup. You sink into the soft cream-colored couch, pull up YouTube on your phone, and connect to the audio to the Bluetooth boombox to a low, comfortable volume. The algorithm check. Since the Great Flash happened a few days ago, the global internet infrastructure is starting to lag without manual maintenance. But the servers are still up, the trending page is still filled with international panic feeds, structural damage updates from major cities like Tokyo, and local Japanese women sharing survival protocols. Climate control. The internal air conditioning hums perfectly, keeping you completely relaxed in your great track pants. Jordan grabs his blanket again, tossing it over his legs on the opposite bench. Jordan would not be wearing a blanket this early in the morning. Well, actually, it's a very plush blanket, so maybe. He leans his head back against the polished wood trim, staring at the ceiling with his phone in hand. Chilling is the smartest play, Jordan says, his deep voice muffled slightly by a yawn. We have the food, we have the self-healing skin, and we have the automated defenses. If anything goes sideways, no point in risking our necks out here if we don't have to. The RV sits in an invisible, silent fortress in the middle of a rural Japanese rest stop, completely self-sufficient under its heavy-duty solar panels. I am really loving the idea of living in an RV. I chose the idea of cream-colored interior with a polished wood trim. And you know what kind of lighting it is? Soft yellow lighting. The most comfortable lighting you can ever ask for. You feel so warm once you get in there. What is the government saying right now? It's been 5 days since the Great Flash. You check the live feeds on your phone, filtering through the global and domestic Japanese news broadcasts to see what the remaining authorities are broadcasting on day 5 of the collapse. The Japanese government broadcast J Alert. I can hear the doggies. You guys can hear the dogs too, right? The emergency broadcast system is issuing red alert levels, ordering all remaining citizens, primarily women, elderly women, and children, to evacuate rural areas immediately. Why? You know what? I never questioned why. Centralized. Oh, it's probably because of infrastructure failure. I'm thinking. Centralization zones. The government is abandoning the countryside to consolidate remaining utility workers, nurses, and logistics personnel into major urban areas like Tokyo and Osaka. The resource timeline. Broadcast anchors warn that regional power grids and municipal water treatment plants will completely shut down within 48 hours as automated backup systems fail without manual fuel replacement. Global intelligence and defense reports. Martial law. Across North America, Europe, and Asia, the remaining female political leaders and military officers have officially declared global martial law to prevent widespread looting of food and medical supplies. Satellite monitoring. Defense networks are still fully operational, and on automated software, military satellites are aggressively scanning the globe for any anomalous energy signatures, unusual vehicle movements, or signs of the phenomenon repeating. High-risk zone. Because the government is aggressively scouting highways to hurt survivors in the Tokyo Central Zone, your rural rest stop is officially in a high-risk sweep area. Jordan sips up quickly, his mature face tightening as he reads the same headlines on his phone. If they're abandoning the countryside and scanning for survivors to move to Tokyo, a pristine high-tech armored RV parked out right here is going to look like a gold mine to a military scouting party or a desperate evacuation convoy. It's 8:01 a.m. I said, fuck. Their government will see the AI, the RV, and will investigate it. Ugh. Why did I bother making the RV the most boring colors when it backfires? Jordan said, because you're a dum-dum, before letting out a giggle. I giggled and said, I like the dull matte gray. I built the RV for maximum comfort and survival. Jordan lets out a deep laugh, a big deep laugh, shifting his 6-foot frame on the cream-colored bench. Hey, dull gray is actually a great color. It just doesn't help when you're the only perfectly clean, high-tech vehicle left in a parking lot full of crashed cars. The security alerts. Day 2, 8:05 a.m. Your RV looks like a pristine, heavy-duty tactical vehicle, even with the FedEx Dormant, the autonomous microcapsule skin, and advanced laminate for silhouette windows. Wait, where was I? Make it look incredibly valuable. The comfort zone. Inside, the climate control keeps you perfectly cool in your light gray jacket and track pants. The smell of your supreme breakfast has faded, leaving a comfortable, clean space. Since you built this machine specifically for maximum comfort and long-term survival, you are completely safe from the elements and any basic threats, but Jordan's point stands. The government sweeps mean you cannot just sit out in the open forever. Okay, with my character. Sunset. Oh yeah, it was a nice looking sunset. I should just keep my thumb on the camera like this, like. That's better. Jordan sits down his phone and stretches. If we're sticking to the plan of chilling and staying invisible, we should probably make sure the windows are completely sealed and the interior lights are low. If a scouting party passes by on the highway, we want them to think this thing is locked up and empty. That's not going to work, guys. They're going to investigate. I assure you. It's 8:05 a.m. I said we don't need to worry about that. The AI, the RV is soundproof. Hey, isn't that your favorite VTuber? What's she saying? Jordan said, She's saying she's holding on. She is very depressed since her boyfriend disappeared, along with every other man. You lean over to look at Jordan's phone screen as the low audio from the Bluetooth boombox carries a familiar digital avatar's voice into the quiet, cream-colored cabin. Seeing a top Japanese VTuber streaming live in the middle of a global infrastructure collapse is surreal, but it underscores just how desperate people are for any connection right now. The VTuber stream, 8:10 a.m. The reality check. Her usual bright energy is completely gone, replaced by a quiet, raw exhaustion. She is streaming from her apartment in Tokyo, confirming that the city's power is glitching but still holding. The emotional toll. She talks about the absolute silence in her apartment building, the empty streets below, and the agonizing grief of losing her boyfriend and male family members to the Flash. The Great Flash. The survivor sentiment. Like millions of others watching her chat, she has no idea how the world is going to survive this week. The chat feed is moving at light speed with messages from women all over Japan trying to comfort each other. Jordan rubs the back of his neck, his mature face softening as he stares at the screen. The deep voice he usually uses for joking is completely gone. Man, this is brutal to watch. You actually read about this on a social collapse, but seeing the actual emotional fallout, it's pretty heavy. Jordan wouldn't say that. I actually didn't write that. You shift comfortably in your gray track pants, the solid soundproofing of your borosilicate glass keeping the tragic weight of the outside world completely sealed away from your self-sufficient fortress. Jordan looks at you, turning the volume down slightly. It makes you realize how crazy our situation is. If any of these people knew two guys were just sitting in a high-tech RV in the countryside eating supreme breakfasts, the internet would absolutely melt. It's 8:11 a.m. I said, when I was in the U.S., when the Great Flash happened in another universe, the women tried to kill me on day one. I still remember having to go out in the RV and start shooting at them with a crossbow. Every life wasted out of a desperate attempt to capture or kill me. I look at Jordan in the eye and said, the militia wanted to kill me, but the government wanted to capture me. Neither was the solution to their problems. Jordan's eyes leave his phone and lock onto yours. The casual, joking demeanor completely drops from his mature face. He listens to the quiet, steady tone of your voice as you recount the brutal reality of your past survival runs. The heavy soundproofing of the RV ensures that your words hang in the air, completely undisturbed by the outside world. The tactical reality of being the last man. The militia threat. In a collapsed world, driven by sheer panic and grief, an anomaly like a living human male is instantly viewed as a target for anger, desperation, or resource-driven violence. The government threat. To the remaining authorities, you are an asset to be weaponized, studied, or controlled. Capturing you and your hyper-advanced, self-healing RV would be a top priority for any desperate military force. The ultimate lesson. Violence or capture solves nothing for their dying world, but desperation overrides logic. Your past experiences prove that staying completely hidden is the only way to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. Jordan absorbs the gravity of what you just shared. He looks at his hands, then back at you, his deep voice serious and absolute. That explains why you built this thing to be a rolling fortress, Jordan says quietly, and why you're so adamant about not being seen. If they find out we're here, it doesn't matter that we don't mean any harm. They'll swarm us out of pure desperation. He taps the polished wood trim table, his gaze shifting back to the dormant control panel. What? Trim table. Oh, damn it, I said that twice. Sorry, guys. He taps the polished wood at the trim table. His gaze shifting back to the dormant control panel of your roof-mounted fax. I get it now. We stay invisible. No Rambo stuff unless we are cornered. We let them do their sweeps. We keep our camouflage on, and we don't actually have camouflage. I even let the AI knew that. And we pull off that Niginal raid on day 7 like ghosts. It's 8:12 a.m. I said, what these people in this universe don't know is that there is no solution. The way the Great Flash works is that it specifically targets all human males and unborn fetuses. Even if we were to help them, it wouldn't matter. If they conceive a son, he will disappear in a flash. Sorry, bad pun. Jordan lets out a dark, grim chuckle, shaking his head. Man, that is a terrible pun. But the science behind it is even worse. So reproduction is a complete dead end for them. Any new generation is capped at 50% of the gate, out of the gate, and the population is halving is permanent. The absolute fertility of the Flash. 8:15 a.m. Genetic dead end. Because the supernatural phenomenon remains active in the universe's background fabric, any male chromosome configuration triggers the Flash sequence instantly upon conception or gestation. Societal aging. The remaining population is completely locked into a single generation countdown. Without the ability to sustain a workforce across both sexes, infrastructure decay is mathematically irreversible. Your sovereignty. This harsh reality completely validates your isolation strategy. Offering help or letting the government capture you would change absolutely nothing for their timeline. It would only compromise your survival and the safety of your high-tech RV. Jordan leans back against the soft cream cushions, looking at the silent, dull matte gray dashboard. It really is a dying world. Trying to play the hero would just get us hunted down for a miracle we can't actually provide. We stick to our bubble. The built-in air conditioning runs smoothly, maintaining a crisp, cool environment inside the soundproof garment, while the outside world continues its quiet, irreversible slide into history. It's 8:16 a.m. Jordan said, so why are we immune to this? I said, because our signature doesn't match the effects of the Flash. Despite being 100% compatible, it's a cruel way of thinking. I'm going to call it anomaly armor. We are not from this universe, and it makes sense we didn't disappear. We wouldn't disappear the moment we came out of the portal. Come on, let's watch YouTube on the TV. You fire up the RV's main television screen, syncing the Bluetooth boombox to fill the soft cream-colored cabin with crisp audio as you settle in to watch the chaotic reality of the outside world unfold on screen. How much of this? Oh my god, I actually do got quite a lot of this left. I'll wrap it up in a bit, guys. The temporal shield, anomaly armor. Because your atomic and genetic signatures are tied to your home universe, the supernatural frequency of this universe's Great Flash completely ignores you and your friend. Full immunity. Even though you are 100% anatomically male, you and Jordan are effectively invisible ghosts to this universe's deletion code. The irony. You have absolute freedom of movement on a planet where your very existence is a scientific impossibility. Checking the big screen. I'm almost done here, guys. The YouTube app on the TV pulls up a massive grid on breaking news broadcasts, drone feeds from abandoned Japanese megacities, and international streams. The Tokyo streams. A live traffic camera feed shows Shibuya Crossing completely frozen Hundreds of empty cars sit in the middle of the lanes. Their doors open and small groups of surviving women walk down center of the asphalt carrying luggage toward the train stations. The local feed. You pull up a regional news broadcast from central Japan. The anchors are broadcasting from a makeshift studio powered by a backup generator, telling everyone that rural power grids are expected to fail by tonight. Jordan looks at the massive television screen, adjusting his blanket as the glowing display illuminates his mature face in the dim cabin. Anomaly armor. I like the sound of that. It's pretty wild to think that the very thing that makes us outsiders is the only reason why we're still breathing out here. He watches a drone fly over a completely quiet Tokyo highway. If the rural grid fails tonight, like where they're predicting, this rest stop is going to get pitch black and completely silent. Good thing your solar panels and microplanes don't care about the local power grid. Yeah, the microplates. It's 8:21 a.m. Yeah, the microplates. You know, I basically upgraded our personal quality of life by literally building the RV. The microplates are so low to the base, you cannot hear them hum as you step on them. I don't miss the tent. Elon Musk can have it. Jordan said, it worked wonders in our time in ancient Greece. I said, yeah, but after Brack shot his arrows through the tent and trying to kill you guys, I knew I needed to harden our survival. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this live stream, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good night everybody. Bye.